Hello, show.
Hey, princess.
Okay, so we are doing another episode of Move by Media, and today we are talking about the movie that everybody been talking about, which is Obsession
Mm-hmm.
2026, not the Beyonce version. Obsession 2026, which is a horror movie, if you will, but also a movie about love. Not a love story, but a movie about love.
Mm.
Both Show and I seen this in theaters when it came out. AMC A-listers, whoop whoop. And we have since rewatched it in preparation for this discussion. So let's get into it. You ready to get into it?
Yes.
All right. So starting from the beginning, the cats. What do you think the cat was trying to tell us? What was the purpose of the cat? Because the first time I was like, I don't know if I'm getting it. But this time I was like, wait, I think I might be feeling something. What did you think the cat had to do with all of this?
At the very beginning, the cat, I didn't get anything from the cat.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like, oh, a pet died at the beginning. But I also be knowing like when animals die very early in the movie, they always have a meaning. But
Mm-hmm.
watching it from the first time, I didn't feel like the cat had a meaning to bear at all. I'm just like, oh, he lost his cat, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think anything of it.
So I thought the same thing the first time I watched it. On this rewatch, like because of course we know how the movie goes now, I thought like this is a really good foreshadowing to like Bear doesn't know how to take care of anything. Like
Mm.
he does not, like because what happened to the cat was so careless. How did the cat get into your medications?
And why the first of all, how does the cat even unscrew a bottle or anything like
Exactly.
that? Like, did you just have the pills on like the table of just like? Now that you just said that, I think that it also plays into like Bear's carelessness around things and people. So the cat
Hmm.
dying that easily off of the pills is fucking insane. Ooh, what we say?
Exactly. Like you don't know how to take care of anything because any pet owner worth their salt is not going to have open pill bottles laying around,
And cats specifically, like the way that cats can leap and jump. It's not like dogs,
Yes.
like they can't, like, well, some dogs can, but like cat curiosity of getting to things they cannot get is so easily able. So to just have like that medication hanging around, just he can get it to so easily. It's like, you're really shocked by this.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what I thought this on this second watch was like this is just a foreshadowing to like he doesn't know how to take care of anything. Like you want things but you don't know how to take care of them because
And the
we
way that you loved it
see.
so much, it just doesn't seem like you had much thought
Mhm.
into making sure the cat couldn't even get into it.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so then we move into him going to trivia to meet up with his friends. We know he's got a crush on Nikki. He before that he goes to the store, tries to buys her a crystal necklace to replace hers, and he gets the one wish willow. He goes to karaoke. I mean, not karaoke. Look, I want to go to karaoke. He goes to trivia with his friends, and he's like trying to flirt with her. He's very awkward, and I think something that really stands out to me is like he's so concerned with Nikki liking him that he's completely blinded to the fact that Sarah really likes him. And Sarah's a cool
Exactly.
girl, like cute girl, cool girl. And she's like, I like you. And he's kind of like, Nikki, 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 Nikki. And so it's like you're so blinded with conquering Nikki. And then once you finally do, now you're like, okay, well, now that I've conquered that, maybe I do like Sarah.
And it's also like Sarah liking him, I think was very obvious. But I think now that we've mentioned the cat part, I think that it shows also Bear's obliviousness to like what's right in front of him. Because
Mm.
Sarah liking him was not a secret. It was, but he, to your point, he was so stuck on Nikki, and it's like Sarah actually likes you. She's trying to talk to you. Everyone knows she likes you, but you don't know that she likes you because you are too infatuated with Nikki, who you know
Hmm.
don't like you.
Exactly. And then, just like obviously jumping forward to almost the end of the movie, it's like once he gets Nikki and he realizes like, this is just not, and here's the thing, it's
I
like
kind of like Sarah.
we always know like the chase is more fun often than the reward of said chase. Like
Hmm.
it's about the journey, if you will. And so once he gets Nikki and it's like, okay, well, this isn't fun anymore because she's obviously not herself because of what he did and everything. And also it's just kind of like, okay, well, I already got that. Now suddenly you like Sarah. And it's
Child, and that
like,
be happening now.
don't it? Don't it?
Like, excuse me, now you want to see what this looking like when what you thought you wanted you got. And you like, you know what? Never mind. After you've already ruined her.
Exactly. Exactly. I think it says so much about the nature of dating today. You know, it's like there's so many options. And the moment you get the one that you're like, oh my goodness, I'm chasing it, I'm chasing it, I'm chasing it. And then you get it, and it's like, whatever.
And you're also chasing something that you know in the back of your mind you really can't even have, but the chase of like trying to get it to have that ego is like, yes, I can. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you can't.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so there's been this great debate on the socials about who the villain is in this book. Who do
I
you think
love
the
that
villain
question.
is?
Honestly, the first time I felt like, and I did, it didn't change my mind the second watch. Nikki is the victim. I feel like I don't want to jump too forward, but Nikki is truly the victim of it all in the movie because she has to. She is now out of her body with it, and now
Mm-hmm.
she got to stay in it,
Mm-hmm.
and she had no say so.
Absolutely.
She had none. She had no say so. I think the movie paints us like, oh, feel sorry for the nerdy guy who wants the popular cheerleader who she doesn't give a chance and yada yada yada. But it's like, is he really a victim? Or
Mm-hmm.
is he just a guy who a girl doesn't want and that's okay?
Mm-hmm. So do you think he is the villain of the movie?
100% very
Agreed.
selfish, entitled villain.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of this, the whole premise of the movie is him.
Yep.
He wanted her so bad he went to the extreme to get her, and he ruined all the lives in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
literally.
Mm-hmm. And when do you think Bear became the villain? What was the turning point moment for you where it was like, oh, he's a villain?
Um, hmm. I feel like the party scene when he didn't get an invite to like to Ian's birthday to like the little party.
Uh-huh.
I felt like he was like, you didn't want to invite us, and it was like, oh, so like you like now like you are a duo. You know what I'm saying? At
Mm-hmm.
first it was more so like, oh, Bear tags alone or whatever the case may be, but it's like, oh, you didn't want to invite us, and it's like. Bear, this isn't about you. They didn't invite you because of X, Y, and Z, but now you have to. Now you're forced to bring her along to
Mm-hmm.
just again have something your way. Selfish,
Mm-hmm.
entitled.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I think
What do
for
you think?
me, I think he became the villain when the first time, and if not the first, the second time that she came out of herself and was her real self. Like, because it
Mm,
happened a couple times. It happened
yeah.
3 or 4 times throughout the movie. But the first time was, I can't remember exactly. The first time I think was when they were still in the car. The second time was when they were getting ready to have sex.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
she
yeah,
came
yeah,
to and
yeah.
she's like, no, 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 like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then she's like, oh, like, I'm sorry, I just had a panic attack or whatever, you know. And in that moment, I think he knew what was happening. Like he's realizing now there's some supernatural thing that's going
That she
on.
comes out of it. Just for
Exactly.
a split second. Yeah.
Exactly. And you knew that there was something, and then you continued to do this. And I'll say
But what do
he
you think
turned
he could have
into,
done?
I think he should have tried then to figure out what to do. He was just kind of like, okay, well, she likes me, so I'm just going to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
became a super villain when he sat
Yes.
in that car and called the One Wish Willow phone and heard her screaming in the background. And
Mm-hmm.
he's
Mm-hmm.
talking to the man and he's like, what can I do to alter the wish? He's like, do you want to cancel the wish? He's like, no, I just want to change it.
Yes, 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 yes. Because, and even though I don't think the wish could have even been changed, it was the
Mm-hmm.
fact of like even him being asked, well, you don't want to, make her snap out of it. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, no. Just like not this extreme. So
Exactly.
you still want her to you still want her in some kind of element within herself of like being obsessed with you, but maybe just tone it down. But
Mm-hmm.
even if she tones it, you know that out of her body, she still does not want you. But you're just
Exactly.
like, I want it, but just not this much.
Exactly. You don't want her to have
Mhm.
any willpower over herself.
Over this,
And
as long as
that's
it
disgusting.
benefits you.
That's disgusting. And so he became a super villain to me in that moment for sure.
Hmm.
And like at the end of the day, like what he did was rape. Like
Because it's also like you're to that point of like you're doing this with someone that you know that's not in an out of body experience to
mhm.
actually consensually agree because she wants to, you know that in this inner body that she is like, well, yeah, I'm just like, all about you, Bear. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like that's not what she would have done if she was not in this state. But you
Yeah.
don't care because the pleasure is upon you, and that's very much so rape. And I don't even think that people thought that even with the instance of like the first time where she
Mm-hmm.
stopped and was like, "Oh no, panic attack." It's like, you didn't have to sleep with her. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
sleep with her at all.
Yep. I think it is it's kind of like the sunken place on Get Out. You know, like
Hmm.
she's not in the driver's seat of her own body. She does not have any
Yep.
free will. And so, yeah, at that point, you are 100% taking advantage of her in every way.
Because she has no free will to even choose or decide that she don't want to do this or even be a part of this with you. You're
Mm-hmm.
making her. And
Mm-hmm.
you are not even in those moments of her snapping out of it. You're never like, hey, 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 I made a wish, yada, yada, yada. At no point you ever try to even explain what's happening to her or whatever the case may be. You never try to tell her that she is in like a distorted version of herself dealing
Mm-hmm.
with you.
Absolutely. What does this movie say about nice guys, quote unquote?
Nice guys are not nice. You know?
No such thing.
Like, listen, you know, I'm a little misandrous, but nice. And I also feel like nice, that's a great question, too, how we view nice guys, because nice guys is typically performative. And I think that Obsessed showed us like he was a nice guy to get something. He
Mm-hmm.
was a nice guy to try to keep something, but his core character was not that. And we saw that in how he was treating Sarah, where it was like, no, because a nice guy wouldn't have even treated Sarah that way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the nice guy persona in which I think we believe we see in men is always typically followed or backed by in order to obtain or gain something. And in the movie, it was to make Nikki fall in love with him and only only love him more than she loved anybody else in the world, even herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it says to me that a nice guy is really only. First of all, I think the word nice is so superficial in general. Like
Mhm.
when somebody's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're nice," it's like, "Okay, so I'm pleasant." Like that doesn't require much. Anybody can be
Mhm.
pleasant. I think it
Mhm.
says like the true test of a good guy though is when you get everything that you want. Like to your point, like you can be nice while you're in pursuit of something, but what happens when you get everything that you want?
Yep.
Are you still
And
that nice guy,
mhm.
or do you
Mhm.
change into something totally different?
And how did you get what you have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you have to do something to get this that you typically would not do, and you only did it because you wanted to obtain something? Like, did
Mm-hmm.
your integrity leave with you having to perform X, Y, and Z action?
Exactly. Do you think Bear was a bad person before he made the wish?
No, and that's the thing, and I think that's probably why some people feel like Bear is also the victim as well. Because I don't think that Bear was the bad guy. I think that Bear was a coward, and I think that, and also sometimes cowardness is, like you just a
Mm-hmm.
punk. But I feel like Bear wasn't a bad guy, but he wasn't a good guy either. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that Bear was trying to be something that he wasn't. And I think that goes along with, I think, also how Ian was just who he was. I think that Bear didn't know who he was, and I think that he was doing whatever fit. Even with like calling her Freaky Nikki, when he know like she don't like to be called that. Why did you do that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why did you even? And this is before the wish. Like, why would you even do something like that? So it's like I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he's a guy that didn't even know his own identity, so it was easier. And I think that sometimes it felt a little bit better when he saw how Nikki was in her inner body experience after the wish.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like I don't think we seen anything that would make him a bad person, but he was certainly a careless person.
For sure.
He was certainly a like you said, a cowardly person. Like he lacked a lot, but I don't think we seen any evidence of him being a bad person. In fact, he, was like, oh, I want to, get her a new necklace. And he seemed to be a pretty good friend to his friends and, pretty decent grandson, it seemed, because he lived in his grandmother's house with her until she passed away. So, like he seemed to be a pretty decent human.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, the test of that then becomes what happens when you get the things that you want. What kind of person do you become?
Exactly. Because what did you do to get that? And if your
Exactly.
integrity leads with that, then you definitely are the bad person because you
Hmm.
made a decision where you didn't even do it with integrity.
Hmm. Who do you think the title is about? Who do you think the title Obsession is about?
I
Who
think
was
it's about Bear.
obsessed?
I think it's about Bear. I feel like the title gives a great, I think, wordplay on Nikki being obsessed with Bear after the wish. But I think the entire movie in precedent is over Bear's obsession with Nikki.
Hmm.
And I think that all of the characters also align with this show, like his obsession with one person and in one goal, and in how far he went to get said person. Complete
Hmm.
obsession. The necklace, I think, was like, okay, that's a nice little gesture, but it was also like, I didn't ask you to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
again, you did something to look better or look great in her eyes, but it's also like the length you went with her, obsessed.
Hmm. And then, it was so ridiculous because before he did the One Wish Willow, she gave him a chance to say that he liked her. She's like, "Do you like me?" And he's like, well, like as a
Yes.
friend. And
Oh, yes.
it's like, I gave you an
You
opportunity
could
to
have
say
told
it.
me. But she
Yeah.
also said, like, because but I think to his point, her follow up and saying, yeah, because who I like, no one will know. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that could have led into another conversation in the car to your point of like, I got a little crush on you, Nikki, and then he don't even know if she would have said, I'm crushing on you too. Like he
Exactly.
didn't give her a chance to, you know, tell him how she felt about him because she said that no one will ever know.
Exactly. And I think this movie is such a great case study in what
Mm-hmm.
happens when men take women's choice away in the dating
Oh
world,
yes.
which can
Mm-hmm.
be applied so many ways. I say that all the time. Like, give me all the facts, give me all of the truth of
And
what you
let me
got going
choose.
on, and let me choose. Like,
Yep.
don't lie to me about how many kids you got. Don't lie to me about, who you live with somebody. Don't lie to me about your job or your financial situation. And then I later have
Exactly.
to find out, and you took my choice from me. Like, put all your cards on the table and let me make my own
Yes,
choice.
show
And
your
it's,
hand. Show your
yes.
hand. Because
Yes.
then you are basically making me deciding like a decision of like facts that are not real. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm only faced with something that you're presenting to me and it's actually not even true or real.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's also like it could have been in your favor of me going with it better or more or even quicker because what you showed me I was okay with.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think this is just a case study in that because he literally, instead of just putting his cards on the table and saying, "Hey, I like you a lot. I would love for you to just give me a chance. Even if you don't like me yet, let me take you out and let's see, if give me one date." And instead of doing that, you took her choice from her. And whether you knew
Mhm.
that that was going to work or not, okay, fine. But once you realized that it did, you had a obligation to try to undo what you did, and you let it go so far before you
Mhm.
made any attempt. Now let's
Yep.
talk about the attempt.
Mhm.
What do you think about the ending scenes?
Okay, so starting from where?
Starting from after she shoots Ian.
I feel like at that point there was no turning back because also with the wish, he could not undo the wish, but every time there was another wish made, it had more consequences. And I think once it got to that point of her shooting Ian, there was because she shot Ian after she had killed Sarah, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so afterwards, yeah. Once it had got there, I think that every wish after that just made every choice that Nikki made just obsolete. Like nothing could be undone. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that it was like a spiraling point of of course there's no turning back. But I think that also Bear saw just how far it had gone. I think
Mm-hmm.
he saw it with Sarah, but I also think that when Ian got killed, it was like fuck, fuck. Like this is just like completely out of my hands. And I think that he started to see like I have ruined everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I've ruined everybody outside of myself and outside of Mickey.
Mm-hmm. So I I think he was a coward to the very end, in that
100%.
you left her holding all of the decisions that you made
100%.
because you killed
100%.
yourself, and she asked you to kill her,
Yep.
and you should
Oh,
have.
and it goes back to like his carelessness of nobody
Mm-hmm.
but himself.
Yep.
Because, and I think that was, I got like a little teary at the end because I felt like extremely sorry for Nikki. Loved
Mm-hmm.
how the movie ended because it ended with like our
Yeah, it
whole
was
thought of
great.
like after, like now she's just alive. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also like you you made a choice again that
Mm-hmm.
only affected you.
Yep.
And because you knew that you would not be able to continue to live like that, rightfully so, I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like you then didn't even allow to take her out of her misery to kill her too. You
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to kill yourself. And it was
Yep.
like everything benefited you.
Yep.
Everything benefited you.
And if you were going to kill yourself, you should have done it way earlier, because now you have left her holding all the cards. So,
You could have been
when
killed
you
yourself
think
after the guy
about,
told you.
yeah, when
Hmm.
you think about the aftermath of this, she's now got to explain three bodies. There's
And
three
she
people
don't
dead
even
here.
remember or
Yeah.
know, like she has no, or to our guest, she has no memory or recollection of anything of that has
Mm-hmm.
transpired them last couple of days or weeks or however long it's been since she's been under that wish. And it's like you could have easily killed her than killed yourself or whatever the case may have been, or you could have killed yourself much more sooner, and it
Mm-hmm.
would have only been you did, and not Ian, Sarah being
Exactly.
deceased and then Nikki having to live with it. But you chose not to because at the end you were still choosing to do what's best for you. And you thought you were entitled to like your own free will. And you never let her have her own.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Exactly. She begged you to kill her. And then when she begging you to kill her while you're getting ready to go see another girl at the park, she's like, hey,
Hmm.
please, before she gets up, like, please kill me. And he's like, why? What's so wrong with being with me? And she's like, I've never been with you. And he still is just like, well, no, I'm going to the
And
park to
what's
meet
so funny
Sarah.
about that scene is like when she was having a conversation, she was
Mhm.
out of body. So it could
Yeah.
he had time until the very end
Mm-hmm.
to still tell her, undo it,
Yep.
kill her, whatever the case may have been. So even with him saying like you don't want to be with me, you still want this to be like she's only in love with you. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
else in her life matters but you. And even at that moment, it's like there. Nigga, she don't
Yeah.
want you. She don't
Right.
want to be in this.
Exactly. Like, what? How awful can you be? Like, he got worse and worse and worse as the
She
movie
got
went
worse and
on.
worse. Yeah, for sure. And even, but I also feel like that when he was like at that convo of making her trying to convince her why she should be with him, it was also after he found out that Ian and her had been sleeping around for the past couple
Mm-hmm.
of years. So I think also his ego was just like, well, you was sleeping with Ian, you don't want to be with me.
Right.
And it's
And she like,
like,
I've never been with you. Like,
I've never been with
you with the
you.
evil version of me. You with freaky Nikki.
I feel like that's remember on the wood when he was like, "You let that nigga Terry Bone hit." Like,
Exactly.
he was like, "You don't want to be with me. We done slept
Right.
together too." And she's like, "But I'm not with you. Like I can say I'm not with you. I was with Ian messing around, but me and you were never nothing. Never nothing.
Exactly. And because you never had the
I'm the
guts
one
to
that told you that
ask.
Sarah wanted you. So I was
Exactly.
trying to put you on. I didn't want your fucking friend.
Exactly. Oh, just gross. What would you wish for with your one wish, Willow?
I thought about that. I think people would probably say like money,
Mm-hmm.
like Ian goofy ass. But I feel like if I had one wish, I would probably wish for my remainder on earth to be filled with joy. And
Mm,
I feel like having that will, once I leave, I know that I left truthfully joyful and truthfully filled with bliss and happiness and things like that. Because being that way, I think everything else would come to me and flow and follow by being that way. Because I feel like money gonna come and go, yada yada yada, all those things. And I also feel like wishing for money is gonna bring other problems ahead that you didn't prepare for. So that's probably like what I would wish for.
well, aren't you poetic? I would wish for
Right?
$1 billion.
And said, "What's $1 million?" He
Yeah,
said,
like, are you
"Fuck
kidding me? Drop
you."
it on my head right now.
I mean,
I will buy
put
the
it in the
joy.
bag.
I will buy joy. I will buy peace.
You
I
know
will
what? You
buy
know what? That
longevity.
shit sounded good, but I'm probably lying. I probably wish for some money too. I need to go hold you because
$1 billion, I can buy joy. I'm good.
listen, give me $1 billion tax free, a
Yes.
lawyer on standby. You know what I'm saying? My affairs. Yeah, you're right. I'm lying. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay, and the last and final question that I always love to ask at the end, why were you moved by this particular piece of media?
I feel like Obsession was a really good movie. One I felt like from the very beginning it was unpredictable. I don't
Hmm.
think nobody expected it to go in the way of control that it went. I think that we felt. I think going in, people thought it was going to be like, oh, obsessed, you're in love, yada yada, maybe a couple of problems.
Hmm.
I don't think that people thought it was going to go how extreme it was and terrifying and with like a twisted love.
Hmm.
I fell in love with Obsession because I felt like it gave you the perception of the good guy that's bad. And I
Hmm.
think that a lot of times this whole nice guy finished last shit, that's a clear example. They
Hmm.
should. They
Right.
should.
They
Like,
shouldn't finish at all.
and it also, I think it also showed like on a different level that real love requires free will. And I think that getting into something like what Bear wanted for him and Nikki without her ever deciding on her own, it gave you a distorted version of like when it's the other way around. I think that we're always seeing women being obsessed with the men and stuff like that, but you very rarely see it from a man's point of view of having a woman obsessed with him and it goes another direction. And I
Mm.
think that it gave the viewpoint of like looking at who could be who was the actual villain, who was
Hmm.
the actual like victim. And I don't think that people really was able to understand like how he ruined her life outside of everything else. And I think it plays a part in when you're dealing with an awful man who ruins your life if you go
Yes.
ahead and leave. You know, so
Absolutely.
yes, and I think that was my because I think also I loved it because of its playback of it, but also how realistically it is happening like today.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't really correlate a movie like that to a reality of today, and I think that it just gave a really good perception of it actually happening in real time from a man's perspective and how he left her literally in the ruins of an awful after that we know today is what some women are looking at right now to this day.
Hmm.
So that
Absolutely.
I really love Obsession.
Absolutely. I agree. 10 out of 10 out of 10. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This was a great chat.
You are welcome. We can watch it anytime you're ready to again, okay? It's no problem.
You got it. Next up, Odyssey. I can't wait till that get on streaming so I can watch it time and
Oh,
time again. I'm just gonna watch it all day at work.
listen, because it's only going to be what 2.5 times. So it's
Exactly.
gonna
Exactly.
be-
All right. Thank you.
you